Most people spend their entire lives running away from their inner wounds, fearing the shadows of their past and the pain that still lingers deep within. But the truth is, money and status only signal a deeper value of human character, where self-awareness stands as the most vital quality for true success. Those psychological scars you carry are not flaws or signs of weakness. They're actually your rawest and most potent energy connection points in the soul. If you do not take the time to understand the origin of your own pain, you will remain a slave to it forever instead of a master. We must realize that our greatest obstacles often hold the blueprint for our greatest strengths, waiting for us to decode the hidden messages they carry daily. Transformation begins the moment you stop hiding and start looking directly into the abyss of your experiences to find the power hidden beneath the surface. The scars of your past are like a map, leading you toward the parts of yourself that have been tempered by fire and made truly resilient. This is the paradox of pain. The very thing that broke you can become the iron armor that protects and defines your journey toward ultimate greatness. We are currently living in an era dominated by toxic positivity, where everyone is constantly pressured to forget the past and maintain a shallow smile. People often tell you to just move on and stay positive, but this is incredibly dangerous advice that limits your potential for true growth and depth. When you refuse to look into the dark corners of your soul, you are essentially throwing away the raw material necessary for achieving true human greatness. The masters we admire throughout history did not become great because they were lucky. They became great because they embraced their most bitter, painful failures. They learned the secret art of alchemy, taking the lead of their suffering and transforming it into the gold of an unshakable and powerful personal identity. To ignore your struggle is to ignore your power. You cannot build a fortress on a foundation of lies and forced happiness that lacks true substance. The trap of modern safety is that it makes us soft and prevents us from developing the necessary friction required to sharpen our minds and spirits. You must be willing to confront the discomfort of your reality if you ever hope to transcend it and reach a higher level of conscious existence. Real strength is not found in the absence of pain, but in the ability to integrate that pain into a coherent narrative of victory and self-mastery. We must stop seeking the easy path of comfort and start seeking the hard path of truth. For only truth can provide a lasting sense of power. This is where the journey of the soul begins, moving away from the surface of life and diving into the depths where real identity is forged. Think of the historical giants like Abraham Lincoln, whose profound melancholy was not a hindrance, but the very engine that drove his immense compassion and will. Or consider Napoleon, whose early feelings of being an outsider and rejected fueled a relentless drive to conquer the world and prove his worth to all. These figures didn't seek conventional healing to make the pain go away. They chose to transform their deepest wounds into a focused and relentless will. The art of the soul is a convergence of character, where you take the broken shards of your trauma and forge them into a sharp sword. Every great accomplishment in human history has been fueled by some form of inner tension or a need to overcome a perceived lack of power. You are not a victim of your past unless you choose to be. Instead, you can be the architect of a future built on those experiences. The process of psychological alchemy requires you to stop viewing your history as a burden and start seeing it as a unique source of competitive advantage. When you integrate your shadows, you become a whole person, possessing a depth and a magnetic presence that others who stayed safe can never hope to achieve. It is through the cracks in our facade that the light of our true genius finally begins to shine through, illuminating the world with raw authenticity. The great masters knew that suffering was the price of admission for a life of significance, and they paid that price with courage and profound dignity. Your identity is not something you are born with. It is something you forge in the fires of your own personal hell and bring back to life. Use your anger, use your sadness, use your feelings of inadequacy. Channel them all into a singular purpose that gives your life a profound and lasting meaning. There is a specific kind of beauty in a soul that has been tested and refused to break, choosing instead to become stronger at the broken places. Time is the medium through which we prove our character, and every moment spent in self-pity is a moment stolen from your potential for true greatness. Prepare yourself for the long journey of self-discovery, for it is the only path that leads to a throne of your own making in this life. You must become a spiritual archaeologist for your own life, digging deep into the layers of your memory to find the artifacts of your true self. Go back to your childhood, to those pivotal moments where you felt most rejected, misunderstood, or cast aside by the world around you at that time. In those quiet moments of childhood pain, there is always a hidden sign, a flicker of passion or a unique survival instinct that was born there. The social mask you wear today was likely created back then as a form of self-defense, a way to survive a world that felt cold or hostile. But now, as an adult seeking power and mastery, you must have the courage to peel back that mask and reveal the core strength hiding underneath it. The child you once were still lives within you, holding the keys to the passions and interests that you have long since buried under social expectations. Don't be afraid of what you find in the dirt of your past. Even the darkest memories contain the seeds of your most powerful and unique traits. Each discovery you make about your early life is a piece of the puzzle, helping you understand why you react the way you do to challenges. This archaeology of the soul is not about dwelling on the past. It is about reclaiming the power you lost when you were forced to conform. When you reclaim your original nature, you gain an energy that is inexhaustible because it comes from the very source of your being and your early life. Analyze your patterns of behavior with a cold, detached eye, but also with the compassion of someone who truly wants to see you succeed and thrive. Your weaknesses are often just your strengths turned inside out. Find the root and you can flip the script to your ultimate and lasting advantage. The deeper you go, the more you realize that your greatest pains were actually the universe's way of preparing you for a very specific and high mission. You are the primary witness to your own evolution, and this archaeological work is the most important research project you will ever undertake in your life. Once the pieces of your past are brought into the light, they no longer have the power to haunt you, they only have the power to serve. The fundamental difference between a loser and a master is found in their level of proactive engagement with their own difficult and painful life circumstances. Stop asking the victim's question, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking the master's question, "How can I use this energy for my goal?" Every emotion, whether it is anger, jealousy, or deep sadness, is a form of energy that can be redirected toward a creative or a strategic purpose. When you learn to master the story of your life, you are no longer a leaf in the wind. You become the wind itself. Powerful and directed. Self-awareness is your greatest weapon in the world of power. It allows you to see the moves of others because you finally understand your own moves. Adversity is not a bottomless pit intended to swallow you whole. It is a launchpad designed to propel you toward your highest and most unique potential. This is the ultimate strategy for every form of power, taking what was meant to destroy you and using it as the fuel for your ascension. You must cultivate a certain level of emotional detachment, viewing your own struggles as if they were part of a grand and complex dramatic play. When you understand the mechanics of your own heart, you can fix the broken parts and optimize the rest for a lifetime of high-level performance. The world cannot touch a man who has already faced his own internal demons and forced them to work for him and his ultimate vision. Your biography is your destiny, but only if you take the pen and write the chapters yourself, using the ink of your own hard-won experiences. It all comes down to a single choice. Will you be the victim of your history? Or will you be the master and creator of your future? Mastery is a practice, a daily commitment to looking at the mirror of your soul and refusing to turn away from the truth you see there. The key to your kingdom is hidden in the very place you least want to look. Go there with courage and claim what is rightfully yours. Do not settle for a life of quiet desperation when you have the ingredients for a life of legendary greatness sitting right inside your own heart. In the end, true greatness is not reserved for those who are born whole and perfect, but for those who have been shattered and rebuilt themselves. Like the ancient art of kintsugi, your value does not decrease because you were broken. Instead, you become more precious because of the golden repair you made. Be patient with yourself during this long process of inward turning, for the work of a lifetime cannot be completed in a single day of effort. Stop being afraid of your wounds and start being curious about them, for they are the guides that will lead you back to your true self. Developing an unshakable identity is the only way to become truly irreplaceable in a world that is constantly trying to make everyone the same and predictable. Your uniqueness is your power. And your uniqueness is forged in the specific, individual ways you have survived and triumphed over your own personal struggles. The journey of the archaeologist is one of courage and discovery. It is time for you to begin your own excavation of the soul today. Do not wait for a better time or a sign from the world. The only sign you need is the internal pull toward a greater version of yourself. May you find the strength to face your shadows and the wisdom to turn them into the light that will guide you toward your own greatness. The path is open, the tools are in your hands, and the destiny you deserve is waiting for you to claim it with all your heart. This is the legacy of the great: to turn pain into power and to live a life that is truly and completely their own masterpiece.